welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, you will want to hit that subscribe button because this channel is full of tea, drama, and story times. And I'm a chick from Brooklyn. Everybody loves a chick from Brooklyn, and that's on period. Period. If you don't follow my Instagram, you should follow my Instagram because on Instagram I ask you guys what videos y'all want to see. And today I made a poll to ask you guys which story time y'all want first, whether it's the time I was falsely arrested or the time I was set up. And 85% of you guys said you want to hear the story time when I was set up. So as you can see by the title, that's the story I'm telling today. For the sake of this video, we're gonna name the characters, we're gonna give the characters different names, as y'all know I always do. And for the girl, we're gonna name her Tyler, and for the boy, we're gonna name him Terrell. I don't know if I used that name already. Did I? If I did, this is a new Terrell. This ain't the Terrell I used in a different story time. If I did, because that name sound like a name I used. So I don't know exactly the year. I'm just gonna say I was around the age 14 when this happened. I know this because I knew it was right before I got sent to St. Lucia, got sent away to St. Lucia, which is a different story time. And around that time I was 14, so I know it's around that time. So basically, there was this girl that lived around the corner from me that I went to elementary school with. Her name is Tyler. And me and Tyler were super cool, just like in my last story time when I was talking about the imposter, how my mom and his mom was kind of cool. My mom and Tyler's mom was kind of like that as well. Like, they would do laundry together because the community I live in is mostly West Indian people. So West Indian people, they speak to each other, they're friendly if they see each other often. So that's kind of how my mother and Tyler's mother was. So I always used to hang, like I told y'all before in my other story time, I never used to really chill on my block because my block, it was really nothing going on. I always used to hang around the corner or on the end blocks. So that's where I used to spend most of my time. So I was hanging out with Tyler a lot. I used to hang out with Tyler mostly because she was 1 year older than me and she went to the high school around my neighborhood. Every day when she would leave from school, being that she lived in the area of the school, all her friends from school would come chill on her stoop. So I would chill on her stoop too, you know, because I wanted to be cool, you know, hanging out with high schoolers. Because I believe I was probably like in 8th or 9th grade. So I was hanging out with the older crowd, you know, I was feeling mixy. So the backstory as to why this happened, I would say it's kind of my fault, but I didn't think that it would go to that extent. In Brooklyn, we used to have these team parties called day raves. If you're from Brooklyn or if you're from New York City and spent your teenage years in Brooklyn, you know day raves used to be lit, okay? So most of the day raves that we used to go to would be in this club called the Islands. It was on Clarkson and Utica Avenue. If you're from East Flatbush area, you know what I'm talking about. It was called the Islands. I don't know what it's called now. It's probably a different club. But that was fairly close to my crib. So I don't live far from Utica and Clarkson, so I will always walk to the day raves. Listen, I would go to day raves. My mom would think that I would be at my friend's house, okay? Because day raves was usually between, I believe, like 1 o'clock, and they would end like 9 o'clock. So I would be in the party and my mom would think I'm chilling on my friend block or chilling at my friend's house. I would always walk to the day raves because it wasn't that far. But I believe something had happened to the club, the Islands. Like, I think it was just bringing too much beef because it was like a lot of different hoods coming to party. So it always used to get the team party shut down because it always end in violence. Like, people would always be fighting, it would be a shooting, something like that. So I guess the owner of the Islands told the host of the day raves that they could not have the events there anymore. So they started to do the day raves deep. So they started doing day raves like at Cafe Omar, Ragtop, and those places were not walking distance from me. Like, you would have to take a cab or a bus or a dollar van to get to these places. So one day Tyler hit me up, what you doing Saturday? There's a day rave. It's in the Jumbla. That's another club that used to have day raves. Now the Jumbla was, I believe the Jumbla was in Canarsie. Comment if you're from New York and you know the Jumbla, and correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the Jumbla was in Canarsie. That shit, I know that shit was deep. Feel me? So I was like, cool, how we getting there? And she like, oh, we gonna mob or we gonna take a dollar van. Now back, I don't know, like I said, back in these days, if you're from New York, When somebody say they gonna mob there, that means they're gonna link up with a big group of people. This was a time where everybody was in a team, in a group, a dance, whether it's a dance group or just like a regular team. They will mob to parties. Mob meaning walk in a big ass group. So Tyler was in a team, a mixie team at the time. I'm not even gonna say what the team name was, but she was in a mixie team at the time, and she was like, yo, me and my team is mobbing, you could come with us. So we walked from our hood to the Jumbla. Now the Jumbla is in Canarsie, and I was from the East Flatbush area. So if you from Brooklyn, you know that is deep. But back in the day, it was nothing to walk places. When you with a big group of people, you don't even realize the walk because y'all all laughing and kikiing. Keep in mind, these days I was dead broke. Like, when I say dead broke, like, I used to get a little allowance, you know, a little chump change. My dad would give me money here and there. My mom would give me money here and there to go outside. But it wasn't no partying money. And back in the day, we didn't even really care to have money. Like, it's not like this generation. We could have hella fun with $0. Because I had the best days of my life with $0 in my pocket. I kid you not. So these parties, the bottles of waters was $2. And I didn't even have $2 to get a bottle of water. That's how poor I was. But it was nothing. Everybody was broke. So I didn't feel no way about going out, going to a party or anything like that broke. So anyway, the day comes. I link up with Tyler. We link up with her team, and we go to the Jumbla. Now, we walk, what, hour, 2 hours? Who fucking knows at this point? All I want y'all to understand how deep that shit was. That shit was deep. So, anyways, we get to the party, or whatever. We having fun. Now it's time to leave. So, of course, it's 8 o'clock at night at this point. Nobody is, the team, we not mobbing. We're not going to walk home. It's late. We're a bunch of girls or young teens. We're not going to walk. So, the idea was to take a dollar van. So we waiting. No dollar vans is running. No dollar vans is running. So members of the team started breaking up. Like, you know, this person, mom decided to come pick them up. These group of girls decided they was going to take a cab. These girls was going to take the 46 bus. Like, everybody started separating. And Tyler was like, yo, we could take a cab home. So I'm like, okay. And she was like, just give me the money back. Just give me the money back tomorrow or some shit like that. And I'm like, yeah. Now this is the part where I say this is partially my fault, because at that moment I should have just kept it a buck and told Tyler that I was broke and I don't know when I'm gonna get money to pay her back. But I really did not clear that up with her, because I felt like we were friends. So whenever I did get the money to pay her back, I would have been able to pay her back, and I didn't think it was gonna be a big deal, because at this point we're literally stranded. Feel me? Like, there's no other way for us to get home. I really thought she was gonna take it on a hop and just like, oh yeah, you my friend, you live around the corner from me. Because the way I was viewing it is like, she lives around the corner, so if she took a cab home, she was gonna pay that anyway. You get what I'm trying to say? So that's how I was looking at it. But I was wrong. I should have told her from that point that I did not have the money. Anyway, so whatever, we get in a cab, we get home, she pays, cool. Around this time as well, Tyler made me talk to her cousin Terrell. So me and Terrell was talking, but it wasn't really nothing. Like, anytime he'll be at Tyler's house, he'll be like, yo, I'm at Tyler's house, come outside, like stuff like that. And he was like fairly mixy, you know, he had some years on me, but it really wasn't nothing. Honestly, I really wasn't that interested in Terrell. He was cool, so like if he told me to come outside, we'll pull up on him and stuff like that. But as far as deep in my feelings with Terrell, I wasn't really attracted to him. It wasn't really giving that. Now it got to a point, me and Tyler had it was some type of miscommunication. I don't remember exactly what happened, but it was so petty. I promise y'all, it was so petty. And I think it was on AIM. If I'm not mistaken, it was on AIM or on Twitter. But we were arguing over something so petty. Like, it was so petty that we wasn't even calling each other names or nothing. It was literally, I wouldn't even call it an argument. It was a disagreement. So Tyler and I just going back and forth, disagreeing or whatever. And then she like, oh yeah, you owe me $20. This is how petty this shit is. $20. $20, right? Now that I'm thinking about it now, when I break it down, if me and her were supposed to go half on a cab, it wouldn't even been $20 from the Jumbla to my crib. That would have been $10. So I would owe her $10. $10. So technically I owe her $10. But anyways, we arguing. She like, girl, you owe me $20. Kick my $20. And I'm just like, bro, it's like, at this time, I was feeling defeated by the world, because it felt like every time I would make friends, even though this is my fault completely, I'm taking accountability. Like, yeah, I did owe her the money, but I'm just saying, genuinely, like, every time I make friends or something, I always felt like I would be getting bullied by my friends. Like, anytime I got cool with people or stuff like that, because I was a sweet, kind, sensitive person, they would take advantage of that, and they would try to bully me for every little thing. So at any little inconvenience, bitches was always trying to fight me. Like, I never understood that, feel me? And this is what was happening with Tyler. So, like I told you, I don't remember exactly what the original argument was when we was going back and forth, but I knew it was not that serious. And I knew at that time I was trying to diffuse the situation, because I actually liked Tyler. We was mad cool, so I was really not trying to argue mad hard with my friend. Like, she was tight, and I was just like mad apologetic, like, I'm sorry, for me. But then she was just going, and then she's like, oh, bitch, you owe me $20. I slide with my $20, like, talking crazy. And I'm just like, wow. And this is why till this day I don't let people do anything for me at all. Like, if you do me a favor, girl, I'm gonna pay you back the same day, because honey. Anyways, fast forward. I know it sounds like I'm all over the place, but it's gonna come full circle. So like I told you guys, I was talking to Tyler's cousin, Terrell. Right? So we would talk or whatever. Anytime that he was in the neighborhood, he would tell me like, yo, I'm at Tyler crib, slide. So this one specific day, I was cutting school. Right? So this is for another story time. I had some bullying going on in school at the time too. So it got to a point I would try to avoid going to school. And the way I would avoid going to school is like, I would not go, and I would just ride the train back and forth, the 4 train, to the Bronx, back to Brooklyn, to the Bronx, back to Brooklyn, until it's time for me to go home. I know it sounds crazy, but I would do that if I didn't have nobody's crib to chill at. Like, and I did not want to get caught by truancy, so I didn't want to be roaming the streets. I would just ride the train, because you would never get caught riding the train. Well, I never got caught riding the train. When Terrell hit me like, oh, where you at? And I'm like, I'm on the 4 train. He like, oh, you went to school today? I'm like, nah. He like, oh, I'm in your hood. I'm at Tyler crib. Pull up. So I'm like, I don't really think I should come to Tyler crib. Like, me and Tyler not talking right now. She not feeling me right now. He was going so hard, like, come. He like, come, you not at school. I'm over here. I'm not gonna be over here long. And I'm like, all right, I'm about to pull up. He like, how long? Like, come, like, you know, fiending. But I never thought nothing of it, because he always used to be like that. Like, he was always fiend out to see me, try to make me come to her crib to see me and stuff like that, because he was feeling me. So like I said, I kept explaining to him, like, you sure? I'm like, are you sure? Because Tyler's not feeling me. Like, are you sure? Like, are you sure? And he's like, yes, bro. She said she's not watching that. Like, she don't care. Like, she like, y'all cool. Y'all been cool for years. It's not that deep. She don't care. Whatever. I'm like, cool. So I pull up. I go to Tyler crib. When I get inside, everybody's sitting down in the living room, right? And by everybody, it's Tyler, Terrell, Tyler's boyfriend at the time, and then it was 2 other girls and like 2 other boys. When I walked in the crib, I didn't think nothing of it, because everybody in the room is cutting school. So of course, if somebody got the free, y'all all gonna pull up and chill in their crib. But when I sat down, I just felt the weird energy. Like, you ever get into a room and you just feel like it's some funny shit going on? That's how I felt. Like, it was really funny. It was some funny ass shit going on. It was hella eerie. Like, I don't know. Something was off. Feel me? When I walked in the crib, I greeted Tyler. She spoke to me like, oh, what's up? But it was really just weird. Like, it wasn't friendly. And then everybody else in the room was being cold and very quiet, even Terrell. Like, and when we walked in the house, Terrell sat. I will never forget, he sat in this chair. So she had a single chair and then 2 sofas. He sat in a single chair, and it was like in the center of the living room. And Tyler went in her room and she put on sweatpants. I felt eerie, but I didn't think nothing of it, because we're in her house. Maybe she went to get comfortable. She comes out her room in sweatpants, and she moves the coffee table out the middle. right? She moved the coffee table out the center. That's when my heart started beating. I'm not afraid or ashamed to admit that I was scared. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared, because it's like I kind of started feeling like, all right, she's gonna want to fight me. So, and then it started running through my mind like, Terrell knew she wanted to fight me. He told me to pull up so she can fight me. And I just felt like this is so off guard. I wasn't mentally prepared to fight, nothing like that. So I started to get frantic. I was panicking. I'm not gonna lie, I was literally panicking. I was scared to fight. And at these times I wasn't really fighting or nothing like that. So she moves the coffee table out the way and she comes in front of me like, get up. So I'm not gonna lie, I literally wanted to cry, because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, why the fuck did I come here? I could have just kept riding the fucking train. I should have just kept riding the train, bro. Like, why did I come here? This was mad weird. I already knew she wasn't feeling me from how she was talking. Like, I knew she wanted to fight me. And then at the same time I'm thinking about this, I'm just like, I can't believe this is over $20. Technically $10, because if you getting technical, if you went half on the cab, I owe you $10. But I can't believe all of this animosity is over $20. And then I started to realize that this is just a pattern with me. Like, I always get around people that just take advantage of my weakness, knowing that I'm like super not really violent, timid, well, at the time. And they would take advantage and like try to bully me and try to like make themselves feel big and stuff in front of people. And that's what she was doing, because I promise you guys, the money was not that serious for you to get your cousin to come to make me pull up to your crib to fight me. Anyways, she stood in front of me like, get up, get up. I'm like, get up for what? So she's like, I want to fight you. So like I said, I'm not afraid to say it. I literally looked at her like, I don't want to fight you, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck. Call me pussy, punk, whatever. I was ass. I'm not gonna lie. I was scared to death to fight her. And it was not only just the simple fact to fight her. I was just thinking, I'm in her house, surrounded by her people. They're not gonna let me beat her up. And then two, she could do anything to me in her crib. Like, she could really be that mad at me that she could just really kill me in her crib over something so petty. So I was really just trying to plead with her like, I really don't want to fight you, bro. And on top of that, we was mad cool for mad long. So it's like, I really don't want to fight you, bro. I don't want to fight you. Like, if you want me to leave, I will leave your crib. We don't gotta speak. And she was like, no, I want to fight you. Like, she was like, I want to fight you. You're not leaving till we fight. And I'm like, why do you want to fight me? And she like, bitch, you owe me bread. You owe me bread. And I'm just like, what? Like, this is not happening. Like, $20, bro. 20 smackaroos, $20. I mean, back in them days, I guess $20 held a little bit more value, but I still feel like it was petty change for this to go down like this. So after going back and forth for like 10-20 minutes, literally about to cry, voice shaking, I'm even pleading with Terrell like, please talk to her, please, like, I don't want to fight her. She just popped on me. Like, I guess she got frustrated. She just popped on me. And everybody was sitting around her living room. I would never forget. Everybody was sitting. Why do I feel like I'm about to cry over this shit? Like, it's so crazy. Everybody was sitting around her living room. And in the sense of the living room, we are literally fighting. Like, giving all these people that's there a show. Giving her cousin a show. Her two girlfriends a show. Her boyfriend and his friend a show. Like, literally fighting. And I'm fighting, but it's like, at the same time, I know they're not gonna let me win. So it got to a point like she dropped me on the floor. I don't know if I kicked her or something, like kicked her while I was on the floor, and she ended up being on the floor. So as soon as she ended up being on the floor, her two friends got up and they started beating me. So it was three of them jumping me in her house, in her living room, and they started whooping me. I would never forget. Like, all of this over $20, bro. All of this over $20 is crazy to me. I promise you. I swear to you. I feel like this story sounds unbelievable. I know y'all gonna be like, what did you do? Like, nah, this can't be it. But I promise you, I swear to God, this is the reason that she was jumping me in her living room. This is the reason she got her cousin to set me up. $20 and a petty argument. They was beating me up, and they literally started dragging me out her house. Like, she lived in a building. The three of them are dragging me out her house. One of them is pulling me down the stairs. She's kicking me while she's pulling me down. While her friend is pulling me down the stairs. She's kicking me. Like, bitch, you try to beat me. You thought you was gonna beat me up? You thought you was gonna beat me up? Kicking me in my face. My fucking eye had a blood clot. And I guess Terrell started feeling so bad that this is sort of his fault because he set me up. He tried to start breaking it up. And like, he was like, all right, that's enough. That's enough. You're ODing. Like, that's enough. and broke it up. And like, that was not even the end of it. These bitches took my book bag. I have my school bag, right? These bitches took my book bag, and Tyler was basically saying like, if you want your book bag, get my $20. Like, you could get your book bag when you get my $20. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to my dad and I'm gonna go around the corner, go to my dad, I'm gonna just ask him for $20. I walk around the block. Back in the day, I was wearing box braids, heavy, so mad at my braids was out. Just imagine. And I had a blood clot in my eye. At this moment, I didn't even know I had a blood clot in my eye. So I pull up to my dad, and I wore a school uniform. I will never forget, I was wearing a uniform, right? A little plaid skirt. Feel me? I had on a uniform. So I pull up to my dad, and I'm like, Dad, can I have $20? And my dad is just looking at me like, because I didn't even realize how crazy I looked. I looked so disgruntled. Like, my uniform was looking crazy. Like, my shirt was torn. I had a fucking blood clot in my eye that I didn't know I had. Braids missing on my head. And my father's like, what? Like, he was hit totally off guard. He was still on push. He's like, what? What happened? Like, what happened to you? And I'm like, nothing, because I didn't want to tell my dad that I just got jumped by 3 girls, because it's like, why weren't you in school? How did you end up in the house? It was just like too much questions, right? So I was trying to lie. Like, he's like, wait, where are you coming from? Where's your book bag? Like, he did not want to give me $20 until I explained myself. So I ended up breaking down and crying, and I basically told him like, the girl around the corner, I owe her $20. She got her cousin to set me up. They jumped me. They took my book bag, and they said I could not get my book bag back until I come back with the $20. And I don't know why I told my father that, because my father called my mom and told my mom. And remember, I told my dad the girl's name and everything, and they know me. They know me hanging out with her. Like, I thought that was your friend. He calls my mom. My mom was at work. And I don't know if I told y'all in this other story time, my mom doesn't like drama and violence. She's not the person that's gonna bring me back to somebody's house and make me fight them again. She's not like that. If you mess with me, she's straight calling a popo. Like, she's straight calling a popo. So my mom called the police about this, and it's like, I felt like I really did not want my mom to call the police, because it's gonna look like I got beat up and I call the police, and everybody knows. It's like, oh, you're a snitch, you getting me locked up and stuff like that. But listen, my mom is a civilian, okay? She don't believe in that street shit. So if she feel like I was put in danger, she's going to call the police. So she called the police, and they was basically begging me to tell the police what happened. So I was basically trying to fabricate the story, make it seem like I just got jumped on my way to school by nobody. And my father was like, that's not what you told me. You told me it was the girl around the corner. And my dad was like, we're gonna go to the police, take the police around the corner and get her locked up. I was really scared. I'm like, bro, you're gonna make me look like a snitch. Like, this is my fault. I owe her $20. Like, I was really like, at the end of the day, the police didn't end up doing anything, because they had to take my statement, and I was saying I don't know who jumped me. Like, I kept saying I don't know who jumped me. I was just coming from school and I got jumped, and they wanted me to tell them who, where, what, and I wasn't giving them details. And they couldn't, my parents, they couldn't take whatever my parents said I told them, because that will hold no weight. So it didn't end up going anywhere. It was a bunch of stuff that ended up happening after that, like threatening to expose me, like just doing mad stuff. And that's when I realized that I had to really build a backbone, because when I showed that I was weak to a lot of females, they try to use that as their advantage to bully me and try to, what I say, get a win off of me. Because I feel like she just wanted to beat me up to say she beat me up, because that was so unnecessary. Like, you made your cousin call me all the way over to your crib to beat me up over $20. And not only just you beat me up, even though I begged you and pleaded and said I did not want to fight, not only did you beat me up, you had your friends jump in, drag me down the stairs, took my book bag. All of that for what? It was not, I think it was really deeper than the $20. Like, I used to say, like, people just wanted a win off of me, or you low-key just had something against me this whole time we were friends, because it was really not that deep. I know I look like I'm getting emotional, but it just made me think of, like, that's really why this is why I'm just so vocal right now, and like, I'm steady popping shit. If somebody makes me feel away, I'm gonna speak on it. If anybody makes me feel like they trying to threaten me, I'm gonna want to fight. It's because I had to man up, because when I was showing weakness, bitches fully bullying me. Like, this right here, that was straight bullying. Like, I would never go try to fight somebody that don't want to fight me. I'm never gonna jump somebody that didn't want to fight me. Like, that's not a threat to me. That was straight bullying. But yeah, that's a story about the time I was lined or set up. And this is why I don't trust nobody. This is another reason why I miss don't ask to link. I always think someone's trying to set me up. You can't lure me to go not a damn place no more. I already learned from my mistake. But if you like this story time and you would like to see more story times, give this a thumbs up. And comment down below if you from Brooklyn, if you ever been to any Team Pasa Pasas, and if you ever been lying before. Let me know in the comments. I really want to know, but am I just that stupid to end up in a fucking trap like this, or you guys been through it too? And if you're new to my channel, this is your first story time, you want to hit that subscribe button, because I already told y'all in the beginning, this channel is full of tea, drama, and story times, and we on the road to 10K. So tell a friend to hit that subscribe button, because after 10K it's 11K, 12K, 13K, 14K, 15K, 16K, and from there it's up and it's stuck, and that's on period, poo.